Hello, Reedy.
Hello, Shirley. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. It's a wonderful day. This is November the 3rd in the year
Amen.
2022. And I am grateful. Clee's going to tell you she's grateful. I'm always saying we are grateful because I know we are, but then she can speak for
Amen.
herself too.
Grateful as
So,
grateful can be.
oh, yes, yes, yes. God is good to us and he's good to Russ too, whoever Russ is. So anyway, you hear people
Okay,
say
Russ.
he's he's good to us, to us.
Hey.
And so we say we don't know who Russ is, but God is mighty good to Russ, and He's
Amen.
good
Yes,
to
sir.
us too. And we are so thankful for you being with us today, and those who will be joining in later. Today, Clee, your topic is.
My topic is: do grandparents love their children more than their own children? Their grandchildren more than their own children? I've been
That's a
thinking about
great.
that for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. I want to find out all about that. And mine is, what's the difference between being strict and abusive? And I think sometimes there's a thin line. And that's what I'm going to
Well,
talk about today. Hello, everyone. Those who someone's with us, thank you so much for being with us. It's such a pleasure and to come to you on this Thursday. And we are yet praying for our family. And
mm-hmm.
we laid Johnny to rest on Tuesday, and Laterica's dad was laid to rest on Saturday. Right, Reading?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And Eula's son will be memorialized on the 11th in Sacramento, California. So we're yet praying and believing that God will continue to give strength. And Eula and I are in touch almost every day. I haven't, not today, but yesterday we were. So God is giving them strength. So we're just praying for them. Okay, we have to give that information because keep you informed, not to make you
Mm-hmm.
super sad, but to let you know what's happening.
To
So, and
understand.
to, yeah. What'd you say, Reed?
Let's let them know what's going on in our world.
In our world, yes, yes, yes. It rains on everybody.
Sometimes
Into each life, some rain must fall,
must fall.
must
Amen.
fall. And I will go ahead and I want to talk about um, being abusive and being strict. What's the difference in those? And sometimes there's a thin line, and people can sometimes interpret strictness for abusiveness. And then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it could be because, those words, sometimes we interchange those words. And so I'm going to talk about that today. And I am in, let me see. I'll tell you where I am. So I'm going to my information here. The difference in strict and abusive behaviors. Abusive behavior versus normal. Oh, dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. All right, now I can go on.
Amen.
Abusive behavior versus normal behavior. What's the difference? And this is from healthyplace.com. And this is from Kristen Milstead. And she did this on the 14th of February in the year 2019. What is the difference between abusive behavior and normal behavior? What counts as verbal abuse? The idea itself seems straightforward, yet everyone has said things in anger they regret, and I know I have. I know I
Yes,
have.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everyone has also had their feelings hurt by the words of others. Yes, we have.
Mm-hmm.
But are those words abusive? How can we tell the difference? So she goes on to say, and I think it might be a lady, it's Christian. I would argue that there is an intention behind abuse that differentiates it from other non-abusive words or behavior that may otherwise offend or hurt. And that she got this from verbal abuse turns love into a tool of abuse. So, with this in mind, abusive behavior can be described as the use of any form of communication to intentionally inflict psychological or emotional harm on someone, to manipulate his or her behavior, or influence that person's emotions in a negative way. And we've all seen that in action many
Mm-hmm.
times.
Yep.
And, and so our subtopic false equivalences, abusive behavior compared to normal behavior. So here are a few scenarios where two types of behavior in a relationship may look equivalent but are not. Verbal abuse disguised as love, and that's in parentheses, and that's the writing, okay, that she did. I guess it's one of hers. So the first behavior described is abusive behavior, and the second is not. So what I say first here is and is not. So here we go. Berating repeatedly or verbally attacking a partner versus raising your voice during an argument. Verbal attacks are attempts to humiliate or make the partner feel as if something is intrinsically wrong with him or her. It doesn't have to include name calling and can be more passive, such as teasing someone about something to intentionally hurt them. A raised voice may not be ideal. This raised voice may not be ideal, but it can be a normal reaction to a stressful situation under some circumstances. And sometimes to relieve that, we just automatically sometimes raise our voice. I mean, that's natural, that's human.
Yep.
But there is a difference in how in doing it and how we do it and the meaning of different things. So they said respectful disagreement on various opinions is healthy and expected. So let's see, did I do that? Okay. Putting down something that is very important to a partner versus disagreeing with the partner's opinion or idea. Putting down something that matters to a partner is an indirect attack on the partner or an attempt to isolate the partner from a person or thing. It's meant
Amen.
to either make the other person feel bad or control him or her.
Mm-hmm.
Respectful disagreement on various opinions is healthy and expected. Refusing to talk about something that is a problem in the relationship versus versus asking for a break from a conversation to cool off. Asking for a break to cool off if you are feeling as if a discussion is no longer productive is healthy. It's not even in the same ballpark as refusing to talk about an issue. That's called stonewalling and communicates a message of inequality to the partner that his or her concerns are unimportant. And I know two people who give the silent treatment. I mean, be sitting right beside them and talking to them, and they have these spells where they wouldn't say a word. And so I don't
Mm-hmm.
know whether they're still like that or not, but I'm not around them. But I mean that's not a good feeling when you're right there with someone, could even be sitting beside them, and
Yep.
they won't say a word, and you
Yep.
haven't done anything to them.
Nope.
Uh-uh. So accusing a partner of cheating without cause versus asking a partner about a new suspicious behavior after there has been a breach of trust. Checking up on, monitoring, and questioning partners excessively is a method of slowly eroding their independence and inducing learned helplessness. In contrast, a partner who has been betrayed may need time to trust again and needs to feel safe enough to ask questions about something that doesn't feel right under that until that trust is restored. And there are a lot of people that see when people going through life, we don't understand and didn't understand the psychological damage that's done to people when
Mm-hmm.
they're in relationships and things and the abusive relationships and all that. And we in our lifetime, knowing no better, we just expected people to just bounce back because we didn't know that there was psychological trauma connected to that. Sometimes we just didn't know.
Just didn't know that, right?
And so through studying and everything, that's how we know these things now. But there are so many people out there that don't know that these things are what's happening to individuals, why they act a certain way, why they're flinchy, why they're, defensive and all that. They really don't know. And then some know situations that others have been in, and then they take the situation that they were in and they push that in on the person through the relationship they're in with them. They just pound them with it. And so I'm going to get to this. I think it's going to mention gaslighting in here. So I'm going to try to wait to get to that word before I start talking about a certain thing. So, okay. So almost everyone, however, let me get back up here. Intentionally misleading a partner versus little white lies that spare a partner's feelings. When
Mm-hmm.
one partner gaslights, there it is, the other
See?
or lies about important events. This demonstrates a sense of entitlement and lack of respect for the partnership. And I remember I was somewhere and somebody and until I started talking about gaslighting and studying it and all and learning about gaslighting, that's when people try to make you feel a certain way and try to make you feel inferior, try to make you feel like you're wrong for saying a certain
Right.
thing, that thing is wrong
Mm-hmm.
and all of that, and try to make you feel bad about it. I
Uh-huh.
almost let that happen to me one time. And then the spirit said to me, no. And baby, I bounced back. I didn't
Hey.
say it. I didn't say anything to the individual about it, but I didn't let that bother me anymore, what that individual was saying, like I was wrong for saying what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
some people have a habit of
Yep.
gaslighting people and they really don't know. They just know that they try to keep people down and inferior to them.
That's right.
And they don't know that the term is gaslighting, but they're so good at it. Many people are so good at it, and they will use it anytime they want to. And many times it's because they feel inferior.
Yep.
So they want to get the upper hand on the other person because of their lack of confidence and
Mm-hmm.
self-esteem. Okay. Now, almost everyone, however, tells small lies that could be considered harmless. Do we, Clee? Such as not telling a partner that you don't like his or her own new haircut. According to
Yep.
Healthline, we all tell 1.65 of these small lies per day on average. I'm not gonna,
Uh-huh.
because really, if somebody asks me, say, "Oh, do you like my dress or do you like these pants or whatever?" I said, "Do you like them?"
Uh-huh.
Well, well,
Yep.
if you like them, and if I need to like tweak something or help them because they ask me, I will, but I'm not going to tell them a lie. I'll
Yep.
ask
And
them a question. Well, do you like it? How do you
uh-huh.
feel about it? So I don't
Yep.
think everybody tells a lie every day now. I don't
And you
think
get them
that.
one, oh, ain't this baby cute?
They say, "Oh, so sweet."
It is a baby. I like them shoes. Tell your dress so cute.
Because some babies, when they first
When they
come
cut,
out, bless their
yes.
little hearts, they be so wrinkled.
Yes. Look like little old people. Yes.
Uh-huh. And then, but when they start filling out, they're most
They be beautiful.
beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. But of course, our babies from the beginning, they are
From the
all beautiful.
hello.
And so we understand, we totally understand. So withholding affection or giving the silent treatment versus saying no or setting boundaries. And I was talking about the silent treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Using body language and absence of communication to send a message that something a partner has done isn't acceptable is cruel and manipulative. Finding
Yep.
things unacceptable that violate your values and clearly communicating that is not a personal affront to anyone else. It is a healthy expression of the self. And I have been in a situation where I've been in the house with the person and with my spouse. I'll just say it like that, not Elder Davis, not Elder Davis. And he would walk around in the same house, ride in the same vehicle, and he would not say a word to me for, I mean, sometimes days. And so I just would be quiet after he wouldn't talk to me.
For something crazy.
And I wouldn't even know what it is.
Uh-huh.
I
Something crazy.
wouldn't.
So they feeling bad.
And so, that stuff went on for a little while, but thank God, you know, it is what it is. And some
It
people,
is. Yeah.
psychological, because of psychological trauma, because now I know what was going on.
Yep.
Okay. And so things, built up and everything. But at the time, it doesn't feel good.
Right.
It does
Right.
not feel good at all. So gossiping, spreading lies or rumors about a partner versus talking to a friend or therapist to gain support or let off steam. Some abusers try to manipulate a partner into staying
Right.
silent about the abuse by claiming the partner is gossiping if they
Mm-hmm.
tell an outsider. So it's not gossip. If you need to talk about what's
Yep.
happening to gain support. Interestingly, some of these abusers may also actually lie and gossip about their partner to keep others from suspecting that they are abusive. So telling a partner he or she is crazy, that stuff too. Oh, you crazy, you crazy, you just crazy, stuff like that, that kind of stuff too. Are abusive for engaging in healthy relationship communication or self-care versus engaging in healthy relationship communication or self-care. I
Mm-hmm.
keep hearing something pop. Is that Pickles? You
No,
hear
it
it?
was me. I opened this. Opened this, but it's not charged up.
Oh, okay.
I thought
Abusers.
I charged it, but I guess I didn't.
Oh, okay. Abusers may try to make you believe that if you engage in any of the behaviors on the healthy end of the spectrum, you yourself are being abusive. They may also suggest that you are blowing their behavior out of proportion because their own behaviors are actually normal. And so people have
Mm-hmm.
problems. And I'm not going to sit here and try to condemn people because people have problems
Everybody got
and they
problems.
don't know the problems and the magnitude of the problems that they have because to some of these people, that's normal.
Right. Right.
It's normal. It really is. So some abusers know quite well that the ambiguity inherent in our communication lets
Mm-hmm.
them get away with their own verbal abuse. They feel entitled and
Yep.
everything. And yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's
Said
true.
I didn't mean it that way. You're too
Uh-huh.
sensitive. And also lets them flip the script and claim that you are actually the one in the wrong, that
Right.
something you are doing is disrespectful or you are
Mm-hmm.
attacking them. This is
Right.
not normal. This is this is itself a form of emotional abuse. So we talk,
Yeah.
see how close they are. So if you raise your voice, you get a little stressed and you raise your voice, uh, um, then that's like a normal thing, as long
Right.
as you don't start verbally abusing someone and all that. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just get our voices get elevated just a little bit, but then when they start cussing you out and what is it, telling you you're not worth this and you're not worth it, now
Right.
that
Right.
is flat out abuse.
Yes, it is.
And you have to know when to stop. So if you say we need to take a break, this is getting a little heated and all that,
Yep.
but some people won't stop.
They will not
So
stop.
when abuse is described as romance,
Oh.
yeah, there's
Okay.
another. Said there is another way that abusers may pass their abuse off as normal behavior. They may claim something they did that was abusive was actually a behavior that should demonstrate how much they actually love you.
Right.
And people say, I love you, and beating them and killing them at the same time.
Yep, yep.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing this
And
because I love you.
yes. And so this is Chris, Christian Milstead, and it's abusive behavior versus normal behavior. What's the difference?
Uh-huh.
And so this person says she has a PhD in sociology, but she is a survivor of narcissistic abuse. So someone being call themselves being inferior to her and all of that. So she survived that. So now she has a PhD in sociology and is the author of Toolkit: Take Your Life Back After a Relationship with a Narcissist. And it's available for free on her website. And it's Kristen Milstead. The difference between discipline and abuse, and this is scjfs.com. It says state laws vary on what is discipline and what constitutes abuse. So the following of these may help. Discipline is probably excessive if, and this talks about children, child is physically injured, including bruising, broken skin, swelling, or a situation that requires medical attention. Punishment is meant to instill fear rather than to educate the child. This is where discipline is probably excessive, okay? Now, a caretaker, whether a parent, guardian, or school official, loses control. Action is appropriate for the child's age, for real. Action results from a caretaker's unreasonable demands or expectations for the child. As a parent, ask yourself, do I feel good about this exchange? Is there an important lesson that I have imparted? Does my child know that I love him or her? Is there mutual respect or fear? Am I behaving in a way that I want my child to emulate? Abusive adults may share some general characteristics such as lacks knowledge or understanding of a child's developmental needs, shows immature, impulsive behavior, or uses children to meet emotional or physical needs. The strict disciplinarian, frustrated by unmet expectations for the children, is rigid, compulsive, authoritative, or demanding. And then there's unrealistic expectations or standards for him, herself, and children, lacks interpersonal skills, and is unable to react with other people, form relationships, or work together with others, is isolated with little or no support from family, friends, neighbors, and other social groups. Parent looks to children to meet their own basic unmet emotional needs for necessities such as warmth, love, and support. Shows poor self concept and considers themselves unlovable, worthless. The parents should look at themselves and check themselves out. Resents or fears authority, acts in a hostile or aggressive manner, shows cruel or sadistic behavior. And then here's what victims of physical abuse may show: repeated or frequent unexplained bruises. We've heard all
Right.
about that. And we just had a
Yes.
situation here, I think it's been about almost 2 weeks ago, where these children escaped from their home where they had been abused, and it was two older children. I don't know, because there were five other children, I believe, in that home.
Oh.
And those two children were finally able to get out of the home, and they went to
Mm-hmm.
a house. And thank God that that person looked at them and got them some help. And from what I saw, I didn't see them. You know how they have some things blurred out,
Right.
but from what I did see, even excluding the blurred out, it was pitiful. Those children had been abused, so, and starved and all that. So repeated or frequent unexplained bruises on the face, nose, throat, upper arms, buttocks, thighs, or lower back in unusual shapes or patterns or clusters,
Mm-hmm.
suggesting use of some instrument, lashes, loops, lines, or bites. It's terrible. It is
It's there.
terrible.
Yes.
Burns, including cigarette burns, circular in shape on palms, hands, feet, genitalia, and our stomach, immersion burns from being forced into hot water, glove effect, or could be donut shaped. Oh my Lord. Rope
Yep.
burns. And these are things that we have to look out for. And so that's why we bring these things, because everybody doesn't know all of this. And there are
Mm-hmm.
some people who are experts
True.
on this, and there are some people, because there's so much to think about in our day-to-day lives, that some
Yeah.
things we just don't seem like have room to think about. And that's why
Yep.
we come along. We ask God to give us something to put out here so that people can understand things when these things come up. So burns in shape of common household appliances or utensils, skeletal injuries to the face, skull, or bones around joints, or fractures or dislocations, lacerations, missing, chipped, or loose teeth, lost hair, and bald patches, broken eardrums. I want to tell you about
Right.
this lady. A long time ago, when Bishop Haynes was being inaugurated, when he got chosen to be bishop, and they were doing the consecration in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So they got transportation for whoever wanted to go. They got buses, and we were able to go down there, to be there and celebrate. So there was a lady that I roomed with and I rode the bus with. I didn't know, but Clee, she reminded me so much of Mama.
Oh my
She
goodness.
reminded me so much of Mama, even looked like Mama to me. And so
Oh.
we roomed together, and that's how she taught me how to, like if you have pantyhose here, I'm going, but I'm coming back. Pantyhose, and they, sometimes they can be too tight or too little or something. And she
Uh-huh.
taught me how to put them in water and stretch them. She taught me how to do that so they could fit.
Get
I,
out here.
she sure did. But anyway, her story is that she needed some dental work done. And her mother made sure that she got her dental work done. And the daddy said, if you do it, I'm going to knock them out.
Whoa.
The mother went ahead and got her. This lady told me this herself. She said the mother got her teeth fixed and said when the daddy knocked her teeth out, he was so mean. The
Wow.
ones that she got fixed. That lady told me that. I've never forgotten that. People are, and that's when, reading this,
Uh-huh.
chipped teeth, broken teeth. She said he told, if you get it done, I'm going to knock him out. And that's exactly what he did. That's terrible. That is terrible. Whew, Lord. Victims of
Mm-hmm.
any abuse may show extreme swings and behaviors. They don't know how to act. They don't know what to do because they don't know what people are going to do. People around them, even though they try to trust people, they're still alert and they're still jittery because they don't know what someone might do. Because many
Mm-hmm.
times they're just used to being abused.
Yep.
And so therefore they can't really truly trust anyone.
Right.
So victims of abuse, any abuse may show extreme swings in behaviors that's aggression, withdrawal, and regression. Sometimes they don't know what not to do. Don't touch me here, don't touch me there, because they've been in an environment like that and they
Right.
just don't know. They don't know what to do. Depressions or excessive crying, unbelievable or inconsistent explanations for injuries, inappropriate fear of a parent or a caretaker, unusual shyness or wariness of physical contact. And I want to stop right here and say this. It's 129. Um, when children cry, see, in our lifetime, we've learned a lot. When children
Oh
cry
yes.
and kick and scream when they say, I don't want to stay. If it's
Yeah.
daycare, if you're taking them to school and they're kicking and screaming and hollering and say, I don't want to stay, I don't want, and then they're just, what is it, hysterical?
Yes.
It's time to do some investigating.
Amen.
And
Yes.
sometimes we would think, well, they just don't want to go to school today. At older age has taught me some things. When those children are acting like that, daycare, whatever, please do some checkups on these children. Because some of these people in these places are mean and hateful.
Mm-hmm.
And they abuse these children. I just saw the other day just a glimpse of something. It came across I guess my phone screen, where somebody had these people in this daycare center had these ugly masks on, and they were deliberately scaring and running those children in that daycare. And so I think they got some charges filed against them. They know those children are scared. I remember one time this lady in Denison, we were at the ballpark and we're sitting out there watching, and she decides that she's going to scare my child. I think she called herself, oh yeah, lighting a lighter and trying to run my child. I told her, don't do that. One time, and the next time I was ready. And she didn't do it anymore. Scaring my child, that's stupid. No reason at all.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, running my child with a cigarette lighter. But
Oh,
hey, yeah, I put a stop to it. I didn't have to hit her or anything. I just firmly told her, don't do it anymore. Just like I had to tell somebody about Mitchell Wayne. Go get a switch. I'm going to whip
yeah.
you. I'm going to whip you. I said, I don't think I said anything. I think I just went and sat
Uh-huh.
close by. And
Mm-hmm.
then somebody else told her, don't you hit him.
Hey, it's gonna be some furniture moving. Hey, it's gonna be some furniture moving around here.
You're not going to do that. So, over some silly stuff.
Stupid, yes.
Yes,
Trying to play big shot. Trying to play
yes,
somebody's mama and ain't got a child of their own.
yes, yes. And I just went down and sat down on the steps. Anyway, I thank God that nothing happened. God saves us from ourselves. I want to say
Yes.
that because He doesn't
And
want
God
us to
saved a lot of people from us.
He doesn't want us to mess up. He doesn't want us to mess up, you know what I said, our
Yeah.
life, our reputation and everything. He doesn't. So He'll save us from ourselves. So He'll intervene and make the situation stop.
Mm-hmm.
Or He'll tell us how far, what to say and what to do and how far to go. And then when the Spirit tells us to stop, we have to stop, because that means you've said enough and done enough. Okay. Well said.
Yep.
Okay.
Said
Yeah.
enough and done enough. And next thing you know, somebody gonna be Palmer.
Somebody what?
Meeting Palmer.
Okay. Yeah. But they're like inappropriate fear of a parent or a caretaker, unusual shyness or wariness of physical contact, antisocial behavior such as running away or substance abuse, reluctance to go home. Those are things that really, and belief that punishment is deserved. And I remember someone told me one time that this lady told me the son was getting in trouble, and she told me that she told him that she wished that he had never been born. It cut
Oh,
it cut me. It hurt my feelings
oh
that
my
a
God.
mother would say that to her
Her child.
child. But
Oh
can you
my God.
imagine how many children hear that kind of stuff on a daily basis? It's terrible. It's
Mm,
terrible.
mm.
I'm getting through reading. So if
Oh,
anything is going on, the first thing you do, if you can dial 911 or abuse or anything, don't be ashamed and don't try to feel sorry for the abuser. I know we have
amen.
attachments and all of that, but we have to learn to take care of number one. If you are being abused, call 911. You might not be able to think of 211 or any of that. Call 911. Okay? Or run out of the house. Do something. And if you
Yep.
have children, you have a plan, a
Mm-hmm.
strategy where you can take those children with you when
Yeah.
you go. If you have to
You can
take
go
them
get
and
ice
let them,
cream.
yes, go get ice cream. Get some ice cream. Or if you have to take them one by one, or if they're in school and you
Uh-huh.
have to, hey, put forth a plan of action, and don't tell him or her, that's all right. That's all right. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you. Don't do that. Don't do
No.
that. Don't do that. You have to have a strategy. You have to stick with it, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to have all your stuff as much as you can in a row. But most of all, as Clee says, get some yonder.
Get some yonder.
But you have to have, if you don't have a plan, it's nothing wrong with running for your life.
Nothing. Nothing.
Mama says better to say yonder he go, than
There she
there she
go.
lay. Yeah, there he lay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right, Reedy. And so that's about the children and everything. So I have one more. So Reedy, you go ahead.
Help yourself.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to take up too much time. But no,
Nah,
that's okay. I can do this other.
mine is short.
Okay, go ahead.
Mine is short. Mine
Okay.
is short.
Okay. There's a site called bonobology.com.
Who?
Bonobology, BONOBOLOGY.com.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Bonobon.
And it's the difference between healthy, unhealthy, and abusive relationships. And abuse can be physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, and or religious in nature. And I know about that. Different
Mm-hmm.
forms of abuse can occur in tandem. For example, financial abuse may be about controlling your finances, but it's
Right.
also emotional or verbal in nature.
Mm-hmm.
However, physical abuse may be easier to notice as compared to other forms because of its nature. And I know where women have let the men, and sometimes the men, and many times, I mean, this stuff, it works both ways. Men are abused just like women are abused. They are, and so many
They
times
are.
we
Yep.
we leave the men out. But I remember when I did this UCAN convention in Denison, Texas, Pastor Evans let us use uh, Hopewell Baptist Church, and so Deacon McKnight and Sister McKnight and Pam McKnight Polk, they were
Mm-hmm.
some of the people that did the presentations for me. And so Miss McKnight brought it to mind. She said, women are not the only ones that are abused. Men are
Right.
abused too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that made me think, yes, men are abused too. And really terribly abused. Some of these men take a lot of stuff off of
Yes,
some
they
of these
do.
women. Uh-huh.
Trying to
So let's
keep
just
them women.
try to keep, yes, and try not to hurt people. Many times because we have soft hearts, we don't want to hurt
Mm-hmm.
somebody, we don't want to
Right.
hurt their feelings, we'll stay
Right.
there in that abuse.
Yes.
So
Yep.
let's discuss today certain markers which must raise relationship red flags of abuse other than physical in your relationship. One important aspect to understand is that the need for love, respect, acceptance, and support remains common across cultures for all genders. To
Mm-hmm.
truly understand the difference between healthy, unhealthy, and abusive relationships, one needs to pay close attention to the following factors. Number one, control versus autonomy. One of the big markers of abusive behavior in relationships stems from a need to control. And that's it, a need to control. Abusers actively look for control in a relationship to exert dominance. He, she may strictly control your finances, irrespectful of your financial independence or dependence on them. They
Mm-hmm.
may indulge in or demand sexual acts as per their wish and
Very
be
careful.
forceful during sex. They may
Yep.
force their religious and spiritual belief on you and stop you from practicing your faith, even which should be a totally personal choice. In
Yes.
addition, they may control your social movements, restrict who you hang out with, and get jealous easily. Been there? The difference between healthy versus unhealthy relationships is that one enjoys autonomy in a good relationship, while partners are allowed to influence decisions and choices to an extent, they are also expected to respect the other person's boundaries. In a
Mm-hmm.
healthy relationship, your
Right.
partner will give you advice but will never try to influence your decisions or force their will on you. And so it said, get your dose of advice from Bonobology right in your inbox. Okay, Reedy. And so there's
She said a
another
dose of advice.
criticism versus support. Then here's another one. It talks about blame versus responsibility. And there's possessiveness versus protective, and let me see, abusive relationship patterns.
Oh,
Said
there
you
it is
must
right there.
notice for an abuser it's always a demand for things to happen their way, else there may be a fit of anger, verbal or
Mm-hmm.
physical abuse,
Mm-hmm.
sulking, withdrawing sex,
Yes.
communication, and or finances for certain periods until you mend your ways or fall in line. So please note that none of the above is one-off incidents that have happened occasionally. It is a pattern of behavior that is manipulative and self-serving in nature, ranging from extreme withdrawal to volatility. Sometimes a mental illness, such as personality disorder, can be the cause of such behaviors. And I believe that that was one of the situations that I was in, personality disorder, because
Mm-hmm.
of things.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to turn you over to my sister, Cleester.
Hello, Rebecca Poe. How
Hi,
are ya?
Becky. Hi.
And that's all. That's all I see.
Okay.
Okay, mine came from parents.com. And it made me wonder because one time I did this little TikTok thing that says life is funny.
Uh-huh.
You will die for your kids, but you'll kill your kids for your grandkids. Life is funny. Because if I caught by doing something my grandchild I didn't walk, oh, it's some hell to pay the captain. Hey. And mama was the same way. Love them grandchildren.
Oh, yes.
Grandchildren have a come in and they'll just take your child's spot. I was at the doctor's office the other day, and this man come in. He said, "I just had my first grandchild. Just had my first
Oh,
grandchild." He was so proud, and he was showing
oh.
pictures. And she said, "I told my daughter." He said, "I told my daughter that just knocked you down a peg." so, so I wondered. I've been wondering about that. So here it goes. Okay. Studies show grandmothers may be more connected to their grandchildren than their own children. Think
That's
your
me.
mom's like your kids more than she likes you. It may not be in your head. This is from Beth Ann Meyer from parents.com.
Okay.
Many grandparents relish the opportunity to spoil and have extra special relationship with their grandchildren, but sometimes it may feel like your own mother likes your kids, her grandkids, more than she likes you. We hate to break it to you, but a new study suggests you might not be completely imagining things. Hey, a study published this week indicated that grandmas feel more connected with their grandchildren than they do with their own kids.
Wow.
The research, led by James Rilling, a professor of anthropology, psychiatry, and behavioral science at Emory University, recruited 50 people who identified as women with at least one biological grandchild, ages 3 to 12. The women looked at photos of their child, grandchildren, and sometimes unrelated, while researchers scanned their brains and using MRIs. They've got pictures of their children, they got pictures of their grandchildren, and it's got regular pictures, and scan their brains. When grandmothers viewed the photographs of their grandchildren, they particularly activated brain regions that have previously been associated with emotional empathy, suggesting that grandmothers may be predisposed to share the emotional states of their grandchildren.
Mm. Wow.
Rillings told USA Today, this is what he told them. On the other hand, photos of the women's own children activated the areas of the brain linked to cognitive empathy, suggesting mental understanding of their child, but less of an emotional connection.
Wow.
Really? Previously did a similar study in which we asked fathers to look at photos of their children. Interestingly, he noted more emotional empathy and motivation from grandmothers than he did in fathers, though
Hmm.
not in this very case.
Wow.
Ultimately, relationships are different in every family. Sometimes parents, and grandchildren dynamics can be tricky to navigate. Some studies show that grandparents who subscribe to outdated health guidance may be harming their grandchildren. At the same time, multi-generational households have been rising for the last 5 years. DW Pew research found out about 20 of Americans live in a multi-generational household in 2016.
Hmm.
Having a grandparent involved in a child's life, whether they are living with you, assisting with childcare, or visiting holidays, can be a wonderful experience. But you may experience challenges. Aside from any feelings you may have about your mom having a better connection with your child than she has with you, here are some expert backed tips for working through the problems. So, open a dialogue. Ask grandparents how they envision their relationship with their grandchildren, including the frequency of visits. Now they want to know how long they're going to be there. Including the frequency of visits, taking this step to alleviate disappointment if grandparents don't want to be around every weekend. It can also open up discussions on boundaries if they want to drive by unannounced, but you, as the parent, wants to head up. Safety first. If the grandparents is engaging in unsafe behavior, you have the right to protect your child. Be firm in your convictions. It doesn't matter if they let you ride in the front seat at the age of 3 without harm. Validate them. Parents get so much unsolicited advice, including and perhaps especially from their own parents. Isn't that the truth? You ain't letting him eat right. He ain't got enough time. Now you giving him the wrong milk. No, you don't let him eat that shit. Don't get his haircut that he wanted to.
Yeah.
Everybody got their own thing. And they living back in their day with the way their mama taught them. Now they teaching us and we got our own way. But there we go.
Uh-huh.
The circle of life. Okay, including perhaps especially from their own parents. It's often well-meaning, even if annoying. If it's harmless, such as you shouldn't introduce vegetables before fruit, you can say thanks. I'll ask our pediatrician. So there you go. You introduce vegetables before fruit. Thanks. I'll ask our pediatrician. Okay, there you go. Thanks. I asked our pediatrician get out here, and I'll keep that in mind, giving them the impression you're at least thinking about it, and can
Mm-hmm.
sometimes be enough to keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
It can be so rewarding to watch your parents bond with your kids, but if you're having issues, communication can keep molehills from turning into mountains. And there we go.
All
That's what we
right.
thought. That's what they thought about that. Oh, we still got 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Still have
Gotta go
what?
with that. 10 minutes.
Okay.
I told
I
you mine
was
was short.
well, it was good.
Oh, it was short. But I
So
want to know that.
so where did you come? You came to the conclusion that
Grandparents like the grandchildren more than they like the children. Hey.
you think it's because that's what they usually say. Well, at least I can send them home.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When I get tired of paying, I can spoil them and then send them home. Get them all that sweet candy and get them to bouncing off the walls and send them home.
Oh yes, that's
I
wonderful.
remember Lewis used
Wonderful.
to do Mitchell Wayne like that. Lewis used to do Mitchell like that. Come in every morning after he got out from work with donuts. Every morning with donuts. And call Mitchell upstairs and give Mitchell donuts, and then he bouncing out the wall. He nearly come get him.
Because didn't take much for Mitchell.
No, Lord. No, ma'am.
I want to say hello to Ebron, my friend. I call her Yvonne. Ebron, Rebecca, Lewis McCollister. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Amen.
Oh, I like these. What are they
Hey,
called?
Tim Polk. I see he's
Hi,
watching.
Tim.
And
Hello.
Byron is Pitts.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Miss Pitts. Hey.
Hello, Miss Pitts.
And as I said, Rebecca Polk.
I'm gonna put that
Love
on
you,
there. Hello,
Becky.
Miss Pitts.
Hello, Miss Pitts.
And
And
hello,
love you
Tim.
too, Becky. She says she loves us.
We
Love you
love
too,
you
Becky.
too. Now you know we do. Yes, we
Amen.
do.
Yes, ma'am. Because she went through the
Definitely.
same grandmother stuff that we went through.
Uh, oh yes. Yes, ma'am.
Mama loved
Yes,
her
ma'am.
grandchildren, baby.
Oh yes. Yes, ma'am. I tell you,
Hey,
we have
Byron said,
had.
I just love y'all.
We just
Love
love
you
you
too,
too, Miss Pitts.
Miss
Miss Pitts,
Pitts.
I'm coming over. I want one of those salads. Oh, they have these salads. Oh my goodness! Over in this little store right across, it's across and on the corner from Yvonne's house in
Uh-huh.
South Dallas.
Uh-huh.
They have these chicken salads. Oh my goodness, they are so delicious.
Oh, my Lord.
They are famous for those salads. And so when I go over there, that's usually what we get. She said, "Come on,
Come
okay."
on.
Oh yes, those salads are so good. And so it's just a pleasure. Hey, we can sit here and talk to each one today. Keep on talking to us,
Yeah.
Becky. Yeah, keep on talking to us because we're
Yes.
just thankful to God for being able to be on here. He's given us this avenue to be able to spread love and information,
Uh-huh.
and we learn as we study.
Yes,
We
we do.
learn, and
Yes,
I'm
we
just so
do.
excited about all the things I've learned since we've been doing this,
Uh-huh.
and things we've been able to spread and help others. And we thank you, those who are watching incognito. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here.
We do. Yes.
I mean, just however you watch us, we just thank you for it. And then I want to also say, I put the commercial on the radio station this morning, the announcement that I am a certified counselor. I'm certified in 5 different areas, and so it's called Peace of Mind
Oh.
Counseling. service.
Oh, go ahead.
So that's what the Lord gave me this morning, peace
Like
of mind.
PEACE, peace of
Uh-huh.
mind, not
Uh-huh.
PIECE. Okay,
Right. I'm
right.
glad you I'm glad you clarified that, Reedy. Because that could go both
Baby said my
ways.
grandchildren are my love, but when it
Oh
comes,
yes.
when I see my boys' faces melt, oh, my grandchildren are my
Oh.
love, but when I see my boys' faces, I melt. I know that's
I
right.
know
I
you
know
do.
that's right. I know it. Mama used to do the same thing. She see them grandchildren is just all over her. All
Yes,
over.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's a pleasure. It's such a pleasure being on here, and I've just I've been taking it easy since we came back from uh, Tuesday. Been
Just,
taking it easy. We're supposed to get some storms tomorrow.
oh Lord.
Yeah,
Well, it's
you
cloudy here today, but
okay?
who knows?
Well, you know how I am about the
You
rain. I
know what they
want to
say about Louisiana? If you don't like them, you don't like the weather now. Wait 5 minutes, you'll get something else.
Texas and Louisiana. Yes, yes, yes. So I want to say that it's like we said before. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure,
Yeah, yes,
and
it
we're
is.
not going to what? Is it? Oh, we have 4 more minutes. So
Yes,
hey,
and I
we can.
forgot to tell you, Belinda wants a topic. I told her, I would talk to you. She wants the topic, and she wants to be on the show with the
Okay,
topic.
as a guest. Okay.
Yes, yes, as a guest.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Just having to give you.
She said it'll be something nice. I said, I'm sure
Oh,
it
we
will
know
be.
it.
Uh
We
huh.
know it.
Because
I'm
she's
still.
a minister.
Uh-huh.
Uh huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still waiting on Rebecca.
We still waiting on you,
But
Rebecca.
we're not rushing you.
Not at all. We know you got to come at
No.
your own time.
So yes, and also I'm playing. If you go to S Folk Radio, you'll hear some of the shows on there on the radio station, and oh, they sound so good. I mean that. I mean everything is just go to S Folk Radio. The link is on Facebook. You can hear all the wonderful music on there, and then so now I have the master to the our album, The Inspiration of God Singers and the Inspiration of God Children's Choir, but the master's over 30 years old. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of leery
Yeah.
about letting anybody bother that master because I'm not going to try to reel it myself, unreel it. And so I'm going to try to find a professional to do it. But then um, and Nikki has an album. And so I want to get the rest of the songs off of the album and put
Uh-huh.
those on the radio station too.
And
Because I don't,
I'm back to this grandparent stuff now.
okay.
I have never told anybody this in my life.
Uh huh.
Nobody, unless it's what 41, 42 years old, and I still have not told nobody in my life how mad I was at Liz. It wasn't at Liz, it was at Becky and Michael. Cause Daddy was sitting, him and Uncle John Henry was sitting out on that bus. And Michael come out there and bought Liz.
Uh huh.
And Daddy's face just lit up and told Uncle John Henry, that's my namesake. I was like, wait.
Because
I
you clear.
could.
You
I
could
could.
ask her. So you got the
I
last
was so
you got the last part of his name. Les got the whole name.
mad. Yes. Yes. I was so mad at Michael and Becky. I didn't have to do that. he
Oh
said, and he
yes.
was just shredding he was just full of joy. Yeah, that's my namesake right
Well
there.
yes.
I was like, ain't this something? I want to cuss Michael and Becky out that day.
Okay, everybody, we love you so much. We have had
Yes,
fun
love
today.
y'all.
We have learned, I mean, and given some information out today. And please just spread the word for us. We
Yes.
really love you. We really appreciate you for being with us. And those who are going to watch later, thank you so, so much. So this said we had 13 comments on here. I'm not seeing all
What?
of them. Yeah.
I haven't.
So
I've only seen, like I said, I've only seen Tim, Becky, but that's
okay.
all I've seen.
All right, everybody, we're going to sign off now. We're going to do our
Okay, love you guys.
outro.
Love you, Becky. Love you, Tim.
We
Love you,
love you.
Yvonne. You
Love you
work that
all.
one too.
Brother McCollister, we love you all. Okay.
Yes.
See you
All
later,
right.
Reedy. I love you.
I love
Okay.
you. Gotta go to work.
Okay.
So I'll
Okay.
talk to you later.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Oh God, I'm calling on you. Oh God, I'm enlisting the saints to pray. Can you hear me? Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Can you feel it?